Following the draw for the 2025 FIBA U19 Men's World Cup, the stage is now set for the 2025 FIBA U19 Women's World Cup, which is scheduled to take place from July 12 to 20 in Czechia. Of course, Nigeria is set to make its long-awaited return to the competition after being drawn in Group B alongside with Portugal, Canada and China. This will mark Nigeria's second official qualification for the tournament, following the absence from the 2011 edition in Chile. So back then, Nigeria had originally been drawn into Group C alongside with Australia, host nation Chile, and also France. But ultimately, they withdrew at short notice. On the other hand, Mali has been drawn into Group C, facing a daunting challenge against Australia, France, and Brazil. As the tournament approaches, Nigeria and Mali, they will look to prove that African basketball continues to rise globally. It's not a fluke. The competition will be fierce, yes, we know. But these two teams, they have talent, they have resilience, they have the hunger to make a mark in the host country. Drawn into top groups, both teams, they are aiming to showcase Africa's rising talents. But the big question here is, can they overcome the odds? Can they make history on the global stage? Let's have a basketball commentator from Lagos, Nigeria, Rotimi Akindele, join us in this conversation. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us at this time on In the Game.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great one to have you. Yes, welcome and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you. It's a great one, and I'm happy that I'm seeing you well, healthy for 2025. And it's good to talk basketball again with you for this year. Rotimi, I just said so. I just made the intro about the Under-19 Women's World Cup. Let me begin with you before I allow Damiloju into the conversation. Let's get to reflect on this emotional weight of Nigeria returning to the competition. I'm really very happy that at least for the fact that we pulled out of the last one, we're ready to go. I'm crossing my fingers that we do not hear any other news that's not worthy enough for this competition. But it is more than a decade, Rotimi, that we made it to this competition. I need to know how significant you think this opportunity is, I mean, for the growth of women's basketball in Nigeria.
Well, good to hear from you, Onye. Shout out to Damiloju as well. Good to see him. Apologies, the reflection is just something else. But then for the basketball team, I think, are we looking forward to an exciting outing? I do not think so, just because of the way the Federation has handled the affairs of basketball in Nigeria, especially since they qualified for the World Cup itself. I'm not sure the team had done anything since picking up that qualification ticket, where they went on to play 6 games, won 4, and lost 2 games, including beating the defending champions Egypt in the quarterfinals at the Afrobasket and Rhodes qualifying for this one. So there's really nothing happening to the team. The only news we heard is that there's going to be a draw, which had happened in Czechia. And of course, they will be going to the World Cup in July. The question is, we get another chance to make our second debut. The first time we qualified as under-18s in 2010, we couldn't attend that tournament in 2011 in Chile. But this time around, it's in Czechia, it's in Europe. It's not as far as Chile. But then, what is the NBBF doing? Have we had any plans for the NBBF in 2025? Is this on their priority list, or is it just one of those events that you know you should attend, and then you just come up with the last-minute rush, and if it doesn't work, then we all pull out? So there's a whole lot of stuff. All the players that have qualified Nigeria for that World Cup, where are they now? That's the question. We didn't even have a league running. So even if they want to track these players, you know, and ensure that they're in good shape before that World Cup. So there's a whole lot of things off the draws or off the World Cup itself. Like you said, let's stay hopeful that there will be no stories. That's what I'll just do as well. Let's just stay hopeful.
Oh, so you mean that at this time, this qualification and we being pitted in a particular group does not signify growth for basketball, women's basketball in Nigeria? Damilo, did you also share the same reservations as Akindele?
Yeah, I understand Rotimi's reservations and the fact that we've heard some things happen with basketball, and it has not been a sport, especially for the women's angle, that has gotten the best of support from the Federation generally. I am choosing to be focusing on the positives of the fact that we are at the World Cup, and like you said, we get a chance to have a second debut. I'm not expecting fireworks. I know a lot of Nigerians talk about how the Tigress went to the Olympics and against all odds were able to get a victory. The positive here is that our team is going to be at the Women's World Cup. Let's, as much as possible, have a great experience there. Do not get a trouncing in our 3 matches, and I'm sure that they will be better for it at the end of the experience.
All right, Rotimi, we can hear from Damiloju there. He's really optimistic, and he's counting the wins.
Yeah, I mean, let me just add, it's fine that he's optimistic. Everybody should be optimistic. I mean, it's going to be a good exposure for the Nigerian team if they can actually go for this World Cup. But then again, look at the cricket team, for instance. That was a result of a 6 to 7 year
planning.
You know, different exposures. There were conscious tournaments. There were conscious, you know what, let's take you guys here. They were just under 19, and you could see what they did at the World Cup. I am saying in this case, for the basketball team, since they qualified for this World Cup at the AfroBasket, sometimes last year, we've not heard anything. There's nothing happening to the team. There's no program. There's no camping. There's no, okay, we're keeping an eye on this player, even though she wants to travel abroad or go to school and all that. So there's nothing happening from the federation end. I'm just saying, yes, we're in a group that has Portugal, we're in a group that has, you know, normal basketball playing nation. So if I was just going to make up the numbers, I think we're going to make up the numbers. But then there's Canada in there as well, and then there's China. So these are more serious countries that wants to develop the game of basketball, especially when you're talking about women's basketball. So, yes, the draw is exciting, no doubt. Nigeria should be at that World Cup if we don't get to pull out again. But if we get there, what are we looking to get? Maybe there's a plan to go invite all of the under-19s across Europe or in the US to come represent Nigeria. Maybe that's the plan, and maybe we have a chance.
All right, Rotimi, the way the light is shining behind you, we've got light shining on some players. We've got Idu-bamo, we've got Idu-bamo, Beggi, and also Momoluwa, Ayomide. These players are really very instrumental. You did say we're wondering what really happened to the players who got us this ticket. But let's look ahead right now. A little bit of optimism, Rotimi, please. Thank you. Thank you. Give it to us. How should we stack up against some strong opponents that we've got in this group? Portugal, Canada, and China. Let's just have this optimism and then talk about how we can stack up against them.
Well, I mean, to start with, don't forget at the AfroBasket, we struggled a bit because of the coaching.
Yes.
And then there were talks around the coaching not really getting the hang of the team and all that. But somehow we managed to pull through and then got that World Cup qualification tickets. This time around, like I said, everything still points back to the MBBF. There's got to be a conscious, you know, coaching addition to that team if we really, really want to make an impact. The coach that had coached this team up until qualification, what is the coach doing now? Or what kind of exposure are you exposing the coaches that will take these girls to this World Cup? What are they doing currently? Like I said as well, there is no league for you to even play games as a coach, not to talk about players as it were. So if you're playing roadside domestic basketball just within your streets and all that, maybe that will help you keep fit. But then is it enough on the international stage? So we probably have to, we can speculate, we can stay positive, we can be optimistic, but then the MBBF has to come out and tell us, roll out the program and let's see how this pans.
All right, I'm hoping that they're hearing you loud and clear, and they will do just that. We need the light to shine upon these girls when they go to Czechia there for this competition. Crossing our fingers, hoping that they would make it to this competition and not pull out again. Rotimi, quickly, if we get to pull out again, what happens? What will be the implications?
Well, we get suspended. We get to pay a fine. I'll probably get to miss the next round of competitions, 1 or 2 competitions at that level, you know. And if we become perennial countries that pull out, maybe the ban will be extended to the senior national teams as it were. But for now, let's hope they don't pull out.
All right, I have that hope. I've got 101%. Damiloju, I can see your hand there.
Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Just keeping my fingers crossed that we actually get to participate at this tournament. It's going to be a great exposure for the girls.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Rotimi Akindele. Please, when coming next on the show, leave the lights behind. But it's all good. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. I do appreciate your thoughts on the show.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, there we just had an interesting conversation around basketball with one who knows how to do what he knows how to do best when it comes to commentating. Rotimi Akindele, we appreciate your thoughts.